Hi guys, this video is to help out with this last assignment from the end of last week that gave a lot of people difficulty. So here's the page in Amplify where you're entering your information from the simulation. And one thing that I noticed that I wanted to share with you guys is that there's 5 missions here, and there's 5 different ways that we can change velocity. And they do align, okay? So the first one that we already did together last week was to make an object start moving. All right. The second one, I believe, is speed up. And if I'm wrong about the order, we can come back and change these. This one was slow down, I believe. This one was stop moving. And then the last one, which was definitely the hardest one, was change direction. All right, so just keeping that in mind as we start is going to help out to understand this. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just jump into mission 2, which, if I'm remembering correctly, is the speed up one. Yeah, so we want to hit the target with a velocity of 6. Well, how fast is it going right now? Okay, it tells me here it's going 2. If it's going 2 and I want it to go 6, do I need to push it the way it's going or against it? Well, hopefully you know I have to push it the way it's going because I want it to go faster, right? So I'm going to hit run, and then I'm going to hit pause over here. Well, actually, I'm going to hit prepare force. And we already know from playing around with it last time that every click I do adds 10 force and makes it speed up by 1 centimeter per second. So if it was going 2, I just clicked it once. Now it's going to be going 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So I had to click it 4 times. I gave it a force of 40, and that should speed it up to 6. And I'll hit exert force to see if it works. And the hole opened, so I did it correctly. Now I can go over to analyze just to double check all those numbers. Okay, look up here. It started out going 2, and it ended going 6. And so the change I did was I increased it by 4 centimeters per second. And then if I hit this replay, we can watch the video, and you can see when I hit it that it speeds up and that it shows that it hit with a force of 40. So back to here, the force direction, well, we hit it to the right again, just like the last time. This time we hit it harder. We hit it with 40. And the change this time was 4 centimeters per second, right? It sped up by 4 centimeters per second. All right, moving right along to number 3. So I'm just going to look here to start because it doesn't tell you very easily on the window, but it's going to start off going 5 to the left. Okay, it's going 5 centimeters per second to the left. I do have to come and pick mission 3. Okay, so it's going 5 to the left, and I want it to go 2 to the left. Now, listen, guys, this is very important to understand. Why does it say -2? Well, just like in math class, when you're graphing, points on a graph, when you go the right direction, that's the positive direction, and the left direction is the negative direction. Okay, so it's the same thing here. So when it says it's going -2 centimeters per second, it just means it's going to the left 2 centimeters per second. And I want it to go, I'm sorry, I want it to go 2. It's going 5 right now, right? So it's going -5. I want it to go -2. So do I need to push it to the left more, or do I need to push against it? Which one do I do to slow it down? Well, I push against it, of course, to slow it down. So I'm going to hit run, prepare force. And so it's going 5, so I want to slow it down. So that'll slow it down to 4 centimeters per second. That'll slow it down to 3, and that should slow it down to 2. Let's see how that works. Okay, so definitely slowed down, and if I did it correctly, yes, it opened up. Okay, so let's go to the analyze page and get our numbers. All right, and this is where the negative positive thing is important to understand, because you might look up here and get confused, right? It has a -5 because it was going left at a speed of 5. I slowed it down to a speed of 2 to the left, and I did that by putting, changing it by a speed of 3 to the right. Right, I slowed it down by 3 is another way of putting that. Okay, and if I replay it here again, of course, we'll see when I hit it that it slows down and that it's a force of 30. So hop back over. I'm still going to the right with my force. And this time it was a force of 30. And the change was 3. Right? Slowed down by 3 that time. All right. Now, these last two are the hardest ones. They're very confusing. Now, number 4, I'm going to have to make it stop moving. And you know that as soon as you open up number 4, because it says hit the target with a velocity of 0. And so for a lot of people, they're like, what, huh? A velocity of 0? Well, that means I have to make it stop moving, of course. And if I want it to hit the target, that means I need to make it stop moving on the target. Okay, that's kind of the part that maybe confused you. So I'm going to hit run, and then I'm going to come over here and hit prepare force right as it gets on the target like that. Now, if it's a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, as long as it's touching the target, it should work and open up for you. I did pretty good there, got it pretty centered. And now, how fast is it going? Oh yeah, it's going 5, okay? If it's going 5 and I want to make it stop, I have to push against it to make it stop with a force that will equal the 5 centimeters per second. So in this case, it's a force of 50, right, to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that should make it stop, right? If I had less like this, it would just slow it down like we already saw. But I'm going to do 5 because I want it to actually stop perfectly. Let's hit exert force. And yeah, it worked. Go over to the analyze and we should see that. It was going 5. It ended going 0 because I put a change of -5 to it, right? I slowed it down by 5. Now, because they're not using the negatives on this page, right? You'll notice they say to the left, to the right here. It's kind of makes it confusing. So I'm not going to worry about the negative in your answers here, right? The change was 5, right? It changed by 5 centimeters per second. In this case, it's slowed down. On this one, we put the force to the left for the first time, and the strength was 50 because we had to do 5 clicks. Okay? And then lastly, change direction. This one was about as confusing as the last one. Okay, and this is where the negative thing really matters. Hit the target with a horizontal velocity of 2 by exerting a force only once. Okay, well, it's going 3, and I want it to go 2, so it needs to slow down. Okay, so if I hit run, and then I hit my prepare force, and I hit it one little tap to the right to slow it down, right? I'm pushing against it, slow it down to 2, and then I hit exert force. Watch what happens. It doesn't open. I didn't do it right. And this is probably what a lot of you tried. You're like, wait, it's going 2. Why didn't it open? Well, the key to answer this is to look at the analyze page. It was going 3 to the left, and now it's going 2 to the left. It wants it to be going 2 to the right for it to open. So let's go back here, and you might be thinking, wait, how the heck do we go 2 to the right? It's coming from the right. Well, you have to just let it pass over it and then turn it around, okay? This is the change direction one. So I'm going to hit run. I guess I have to hit play over here. And then I'm going to wait till it goes past the target, and now I'm going to hit prepare force, okay? It's already past it, and it's going 3 to the left. I want it to go 2 to the right. So watch this. Watch as I click this, guys. It's going 3 to the left right now. Now that would slow it down. It would be going 2 to the left. Now it would be going 1 to the left. That would make it stop, okay? I hit it 3 times, so that would actually make it stop. But I'm going to keep going 1 and 2 more, okay? So I've clicked this a total of 5 times, and that should cancel out the 3, right, by making it stop, and then adding 2 extra to actually turn it around. So I'm going to exert the force, and it worked. And this is a really good one to rewatch the video on the analyze page. Okay, watch this. It goes past it, and then I hit it. It's kind of like hitting a wall almost. It bounced off of it, and then it comes back. And watch again for the number now. How many times did I have to click it? Well, I clicked it 5 times, so that's a force of 50, right? And so the final thing here, which direction did I add the force? Well, I added the force to the right to actually make it turn around. It was a force of 50. And what was the change in velocity? Well, that's a weird one, right? It wasn't 2. Right, the thing was going 3 to the left, and it ended up going 2 to the right. So the change in velocity was actually a change of 5, right? And you saw that when I clicked it, right? Every click changed the velocity a little bit. The first 3 clicks slowed it down, and then stopped it for the 3rd click, and then the next 2 clicks made it move the other direction. But each click was changing its velocity. So the total change was 5 because it went from -3 to +2. All right. And that's it. Okay, so go ahead and hand that in now. And I hope that helped. Bye, guys.